Welcome to episode 89 of Tools in the Hall. Let's start right out addressing a comment from a viewer from my last week's Tool Haul video. This is from John Russo, 4720, who said, "Did you know Sunex moved from Taiwan to China? Now all their tools are being made in China and not in Taiwan also." Thank you for the comment, John. I appreciate you watching and leaving the comment. This gave me something to think about and look into a little bit, and I can show you some things here that will help shape this whole picture of Sunex. First of all, Sunex is still a US-based company. They're headquartered in Greer, South Carolina. They have been, I think, since the mid-70s and are still there today. Their manufacturing occurs in lots of different countries. China is one of them, but they do still manufacture in Taiwan and India. And I'll show you this set here. We'll talk about more about these tools in depth as we go through the tool haul, but I want to use these as an example for this discussion. This is the 44-piece quarter drive mini bit and socket set with a ratchet. It is made in China. That's not a surprise because we knew that. This is the 21mm half-inch drive deep socket, made in Taiwan. And this set of stubby combination wrenches, made in India. Lots of companies manufacture in lots of different countries because the goal is to find inexpensive labor while keeping quality high, because this is a very competitive business and Sunex has to compete with a lot of big names. And to do so, they have to do what everyone else does. Find inexpensive labor, keep quality high, stand behind your product. And Sunex does that very, very well. Just like Snap-on does, who also owns manufacturing facilities in China and I think 9 other countries throughout the world, and US-based manufacturing too. Matco outsources some of the manufacturing to a US-based manufacturer, and some of the other companies do too who are in the tool world. But just know that's a common practice. And when you look to shop for different products, you may be very interested in buying as much stuff that's made in the US as you can, but you're going to pay a lot more for it because the cost of labor in the US is much higher than it is in countries like China, India, Pakistan, Taiwan, and all the rest. You can still buy very high quality tools made in other countries as long as the company whose name is on the tool keeps their standards high and has quality control in hand. And that's a challenge, yes, but Sunex, for example, owns and operates 2 facilities in China like Snap-on does, so they have direct oversight over their own operation. So let's compare this socket to one from Snap-on. You may prefer certain features of the Snap-on socket. Perhaps you like the way they perform better, and that's all fair and good. The Snap-on sockets do boast a flank drive feature, which the Sunex ones don't. But let's look on Snap-on's webpage for a similar socket as this 21mm flank drive deep socket with a half-inch drive. This one is made in the USA, and it costs $44.75 on their website. What the on-truck price is, I don't know. It really depends if there's any sales going on, if the dealer there can make you a deal with that, but that's up to him. So we have to go by what the published price is so that we can get a good comparison. So for $44.75, you can buy a socket like this from Snap-on. Or from my truck, you can buy this same exact socket for $14.46. Let that set in. There is a huge cost difference between this socket and the Snap-on socket, about $30. You may prefer the Snap-on one because you like the features. You may prefer that it's made in the USA, and for your money, that may be worth it. There's nothing wrong with spending that kind of money on a socket if it meets or even exceeds all your hopes and expectations. Just know the reason Sunex is in business is because there are plenty of people that don't want to spend that kind of money and still want a high quality item. Sunex delivers that. So I'm never going to throw shade at Snap-on for that because they make excellent products. I like the fact that they make a lot of their stuff in the US, but you're going to pay for that. And we all have a limit to what we can afford. And sometimes that dictates what we buy where we buy it from. I sell plenty of Sunex impact sockets because their stuff is very high quality and people love the way it performs. The same reason I sell a lot of these stubby wrench sets, the same reason I sell a lot of these combination sets, and I've got plenty of other Sunex stuff that regularly sells because people like the brand and they like the quality. So again, make the decision that is best for your preference and your budget, but just know that Sunex, like a lot of other companies, yes, they do manufacture in China, but John, to your original statement, they don't manufacture everything in China, and the company has not moved. They are still headquartered in the USA. All right, let's get on with the particulars here. So we'll start with the stuff that I showed you. This is the standard set of stubby wrenches from Sunex. This one runs 3/8 to 1 inch. And the reason why I like these so much is, first of all, it only costs $77. Compare that to a stubby wrench set on any other tool truck, and I think you're going to find that that price is pretty darn good. And you're thinking, well, okay, but what are the wrenches like? I have never had to take care of one of these under warranty because I've never seen one break. They're stubby wrenches, so it's not like you can put a lot of leverage on them. But this is a beautiful, full polished set that comes in a nylon roll-up pouch. So it's easy to lay flat in your drawer. And the sizes are clearly displayed on the pouch. A very nice finish on these. And it's one of the few sets I know that go to 1 inch. There are some on the market that do go to 1 inch, but mostly what I have seen is the stubby wrench sets maybe go to 7/8 or 15/16 because you typically need more leverage than what the larger diameter nuts and bolts require than you can give them with a stubby set. So that's why most stubby sets don't go up that high, but this one is nice that it has the extra size at the top of the range. And for the price, it's pretty hard to beat. Lifetime warranty on these, as well as I think all their hardline tools. I don't think I've seen a hardline tool from Sunex that doesn't carry a lifetime warranty. And these guys are top sellers. It's the stubby wrench set I keep on the truck all the time. Between this and their metric set, they sell regularly because people are so taken by the price and the quality. Same thing with their sockets. This is a 21 millimeter that I'm putting back into a set that I broke up and sold some individuals out of, or maybe I covered stuff under warranty. So this is just going to fill out in what is currently an incomplete set. For some reason, this 44-piece mini bit and socket set with a ratchet has gotten very popular in the past week. I've taken a number of orders for these. I had one on the truck, but it went pretty quick, and then someone else thought he wanted it, and then 2 other people wanted it in pretty quick succession. So I've got a bunch of these that came in. I think they're all taken already, and then I'll be putting this on the shelf as regular inventory. So it has a whole selection of bits, has Phillips slotted, tamper-proof Torx, Allen, and a set of spline sockets with a 1/4 inch flex head ratcheting driver. Also with a lifetime warranty, so you're covered if they break. And I love Sunex a lot for these reasons that we talked about a minute ago. Price, quality, ability to stand behind their products with a great warranty. If you don't have a dealer who can service an after-sale warranty claim, you can go on to Sunex's website, go to their Sun Express page, enter the information in a form that they have for you, take a picture, send it to them, and then they will send you a replacement tool. So it's a great system, very easy to take care of. You don't need to have a dealer involved if you don't want. From Gearwrench, this is the 120 XP 1/2 inch drive digital torque wrench. The 120 XP refers to the 120 positions in the ratcheting head. They can't say it's 120 teeth because the mechanism has a 60-tooth gear and 2 offset pawls that create 120 positions, so it's very smooth. And you only need 3 degrees to engage a tooth on this, so you can use it in more confined spaces. It has a flex head that flexes enough to get you some extra clearance. It's not going to flex a ton, because remember, it's a torque wrench, and measuring torque is kind of tricky. So you have to make sure that you can't flex things too much and minimize the number of accessories that you add to the head on this to get you into a spot, because that robs you of torque. This guy goes 25 to 250 foot-pounds, and it has all your programmable features right there on the handle. It also measures angle. You will spend more money on the Snap-on one and the Mako one to have the same features as this, about twice as much. So this guy's about $430, and it's been ordered for a customer who's taking receipt of it this week. It beeps, it lights up, it vibrates when you hit your target torque. It has a nice features that you don't have to pay a ton more for. And if you think $430 is a lot for a torque wrench, just know that these are precision made, and because they have to come out of the factory to exacting standards, you're going to pay more for it. When you compare the price to the other tool truck brands, you'll find that this one comes in very favorably, has a 1-year warranty, as all torque wrenches do. I don't know of any torque wrenches that have a better, or rather greater, warranty than 1 year. You can compare the quality of this to Precision Instruments, to Snap-on and Mako. They do have some different features, and Precision Instruments, to my knowledge, does not have any digital offerings. They're only analog. But if you compare digital to digital, look at the Snap-on, the Mako one, see how they perform, compare the price. The warranty is all the same, and I think you'll find that Gearwrench has a pretty clear lead when it comes to competing in that space. From Mighty Vac, this is the 1.5 liter extractor dispenser. I call it the thing that sucks and blows. And makes cool sounds. You can extract up to 1.5 liters of fluid and then dispense it through the tip by simply pushing the plunger. It has a cool valve here, so you can close it so you don't lose fluid until you're ready to dispense it. It's good for topping off crankcases and all kinds of things. High capacity, so you can use it for lots of different fluid transfer applications. Has a plug for the end. It's a nice high density plastic, so it'll last a long time. I had a customer ask me to get him one of these. He's been using a buddy's of his in the shop for a long time, so he's ready to get his own, and this one goes to him this week. These are very popular crimper strippers from Vim. It has an uncharacteristically red handle. Vim's color is green, so maybe they haven't gotten around to changing the color on these handles yet. But for $45, this is one of the better quality strippers that you can get. It's 7 inches overall length. You can use them as pliers. There's a wire cutter in there. It crimps insulated and non-insulated terminals, and it strips 12 to 20 gauge wire. One of the better all-around tools like this to get into tight spaces. Every time I put them on the truck, they're gone pretty quick, because once people see them, especially they'll see in different brands, like OTC has a very similar one. I think Snap-on does. Lyle has some too. Vim is some of the better quality ones, and their prices are very good. So there's a lot to gravitate toward with Vim, not just for these, but really all their hardline tools. And Vim does a great job of seeing a need in the industry and addressing it with a specialty tool. They do it better than anybody, and I really love the brand. I love putting them on the truck because their stuff never lasts long. I'm a big fan of their wrench extenders, these strippers, and their little half-cut stubby bit sets are fantastic. A lot of love for Vim, because I think that they do such a great job of maintaining high quality and keeping the prices right where everybody wants them. From Gearwrench, this is their Master 28-piece bolt biter extractor set. These sockets extract bolts who still have some kind of head on them. I've even known a guy who said he has extracted studs successfully with these, so try them. This is a pretty cool set because it has some nice features that you don't see in other extractors. Instead of having spiral flutes, this has straight flutes, which means you can use these, turning them either to the left or the right. So if you have a left-handed threaded bolt you have to extract, you can use them. If you have to tighten the bolt to reuse it in a pinch, you can also use these for that. And they have standard and metric sizes all on the same sockets, where they're close, but they also have minus sizes. So if you're trying to extract a bolt whose head is rounded so much that a standard size doesn't fit, they have a minus size which will. These are wonderful sets. For some reason, which I can't quite figure, they don't have 15 millimeter sockets in here. But I think there's some pretty close equivalents that you can use. They have the square drive in the back. They have a hex bolster you can use a wrench with. So these are impact rated. You can use your ratchet, use a breaker bar, whatever it takes. You've got all the means at your disposal to effectively extract bolts. And these have been very popular because they're so effective at what they do. I had a customer ask me about the options for bolt extractors, and I bypassed the Irwin ones, which I also have access to, but I don't sell them because A, they're more expensive than the bolt biters from Gearwrench, and B, they have spiral flutes, so you can only use them in a left-handed direction. And although they last pretty well, why spend more money to get an extractor that doesn't have the same features as the bolt biters? You'll save yourself some money. You still got a lifetime warranty product, and they work very, very well. I've only taken care of 1 or 2 of these over the years that cracked. They're very reliable, and they seem strong enough to handle all the rigor that you can throw at them in a daily shop. If you need some wrench organization in your toolbox, these rails from Ernst might be just the thing. They have a magnet strip on the bottom so you can set them down in the drawer, and then they have the sawtooth design which you can set your wrenches in, and you can put these as far or as close apart as you want, and that's one of the bigger advantages. So you can put them in a trapezoid shape if you want, put your smaller ones on one end, go up to the larger ones, and the sawtooth holders are made for that purpose. You can see they're smaller up here, and then they get wider and taller as you go to the other end. So you can customize exactly where it goes in your box and how you can fit it in with the rest of your tools. They, for some reason, are always on back order with these magnet ones, but every time I order them, I have to wait a few weeks. So this one finally came in for a customer who's getting it this week. I am replacing a missing socket rail from a set of K-tool spindle socket holders. This is the standard holder that goes from 1/4 inch to 1 inch. These hold short and deep sockets. They do make a 3-row version for the semi-deep or the intermediate deep sockets. This comes out of a set of 3 that has quarter drive and half drive. This is a 3/8 drive tray. And what I like about these is they're so inexpensive, yet the benefit they give you is worth a lot in keeping a well-organized socket drawer. Nothing's worse than trying to rummage around in a drawer to find the socket you want. You keep this handy. You can just pick this whole thing up and put it in your carton if you want to, if you're going to be using it every day. Keep it in your box if you have to. Easy to see which ones you've used because you got the blank spot right there. And because the sizes are also displayed on the holder, you can go right to the size you need without twisting and turning the socket. These sound like little things, but if you can save yourself that kind of time during the day, that adds up to minutes per car and more cars per day and week. You'll earn more money the more organized you are, and this is one of the tools that'll help get you there. From Electronic Specialties, or ESI, this is a set of replacement test leads for a multimeter. Nothing to brag about. I just wanted to show you that I got them. Cat 3 rated for 1,000 volts. I'm going to show you something interesting in an upcoming tool haul. I'm going to tease you with a Gearwrench True RMS multimeter at a price you may not believe. I did not believe it. I had to double check it to see if the price of my fly was a misprint. Come to find it was not. So when these come in, I'm going to show them to you. They are special order items through my distributor, which means my distributor does not stock them in their warehouse. So when I order them from my distributor places an order with Gearwrench and they ship them. And it can take a little bit longer that way to get them in, but I'm very eager to see these. The price point is spectacular, and the features seem like most every technician is going to find a good use for them in their toolbox. I was going through some older inventory that I put on the shelves, and I found that I had sets of sockets from Sunex particularly that were missing some. So I'm filling out the sets, and I have 2 bags of impact and chrome sockets here. Oh, the chrome stuff is from Gearwrench because there's some socket sets there that's also missing a few. So all the impact stuff from Sunex, more impacts in here, some chrome for Gearwrench, and we're going to be completing some sets so we can sell them all complete and new. This is one of the best-selling bit socket sets I've ever seen. This is the 84-piece set from Gearwrench. It has a whole selection of quarter-drive hex bits, quarter-drive Torx bits, quarter-drive tamper-proof Torx bits, quarter-drive E-Torx bits, long bits, 3/8 drive, hex bits long and short, as well as tamper-proof, and half-inch hex bits, Torx bits, and tamper-proof Torx bits. It is one of the greatest sets for the money. Compare this to similar sets from Snap-on and Matco, and you will find that this costs at least half as much, believe it or not. Everything in here covered under a lifetime warranty. And this is going on the truck for, I think, $228 or something like that. And I've seen the stuff from Matco and Snap-on to be at least $450 to $500. And I think the quality is equally good. You'll see just as many broken T15s in the Snap-on set as you'll see in the Gearwrench set. So if you need a place to smartly spend your money, consider getting the Gearwrench one, because you'll save so much money and still get A-grade tools. I would just advise you to not buy them off of Amazon, because you don't always know what you're getting. I know people have been baited and switched on Amazon, or you're getting seconds, stuff that's been damaged or defective. You don't necessarily know who you're buying from, because Amazon does not sell everything that's posted on their website. You can open an Amazon marketplace and post your own stuff for sale there. And Amazon has nothing to do with that. They're simply giving you the space to sell it. A lot of sellers do. And if they've come upon these things in an ill-begotten way, then they may very well be selling stuff that they just want to offload and get rid of. So the price looks really good, but when you get it, you find that the quality is not up to par, and you're never going to be able to get them to help you with any warranties. So be warned, and buy these from reputable dealers, either brick and mortar dealers, tool truck dealers like myself, because we'll stand behind it every step of the way, and you can be assured that you're not buying seconds, that you're getting first-rate stuff from Gearwrench the way it was meant to be. Well, this is interesting. This is from Gearwrench, and it's a 4-piece 120 XP ratchet set. What's so special about that, you think? You've seen these before on lots of tool hauls. These are regular items for me. Well, I had gone a little while without restocking on these, and this is a restock order. And what I have found is the ratchets are now a different design than what they were. The head is narrower, and it's lower profile. It's a little more squared on the sides there. And the handle is also more square at the section there, just underneath the pivot. So I don't know if there's a performance difference in these, or is it simply aesthetics? Can't tell you, because this is news to me. I just saw these now. So I don't know if you've had experience with this particular version of their ratchets, but normally their 120 XP ratchets are extremely high quality, and people love their stuff. And they prefer to buy these over other brands because, like I was talking about before, their prices is so good. And these are covered under a lifetime warranty, so if they break, I just either repair the broken guts if that's what it takes, or swap it out if like the flex head or the handle broke on you. And this set has a long-handled quarter drive, a stubby 3/8, a long-handled 3/8, and a long-handled half-inch. 120 XP head, as I talked about on their torque wrench, means that you have a 3-degree arc swing on these, so they're very good in tight spaces. And nice long handles so you get good leverage. Consider the Gearwrench ratchets when you're looking for ratchets, either the 120 XPs like these or their 90-tooth ones, which are also very high quality. And it's hard to tell the difference when you're using between the 90 and the 120 XPs. But there is a difference there of 30 positions. You may find you like one over the other. Both sell equally well in my experience, and people have nothing but great things to say about them. And now, the tool I have been waiting for months. And I bet if you have been keeping in touch with stuff that Milwaukee is releasing, you might be salivating over this too. And it is my distinct pleasure to finally show it to you. I had a customer come on the truck, I want to say it was June. I think it's June, maybe even before that, maybe May, I don't know. And he said, I like Milwaukee stuff and I want to buy a 3/8 compact, impact. And I had already seen the product release for what I'm about to show you. And I said, do you need in a hurry? He said, no, I can afford to wait. I said, okay, if you can wait, then get a load of what they just announced that's shipping in the end of August, early September timeframe. And he said, do you know exactly when? I said, no, I don't know. So he said, okay. And every week when I've seen him since, he jokingly asks, hey, is it impact yet? Is the impact in yet? Is it in yet? Finally, it came in. And I was able to show it to him. He fell in love with it right away. And as he's showing it to guys in the shop, other guys are asking to order one too. This is the brand new compact 3/8 impact from Milwaukee. This is built on their M12 12-volt platform. It is so small and compact. It is almost the size of my hand. I mean, if I actually hold my hand out straight, you can see my fingers are longer than the tool. And it is light, and it is balanced so well in your hand. Because if you notice how far forward the grip is, that means the tool can rest back a little bit and offset that, so it's very well balanced. It has a ring light on the front, so it gives a nice, even light. And here's the coolest part. This little guy is rated at 550 foot-pounds of breakaway torque. Now, I was very skeptical of that because I know every company that publishes torque specs is going to be pretty generous. I'd be very interested to see what a YouTube channel like Torque Test Channel gets when they test these. I don't know if they already have, but when they do very good apples to apples torque tests on this. I have seen a demonstration where somebody torqued down bolts to 550 foot-pounds and then removed them with this guy. And I'm also very skeptical of people who give demonstrations for tools. Many times they slant the demonstration toward or away from a point they want to make. Very rarely do I see somebody torque something to spec and then remove something to see if that works. But the ones I saw have done that. So I was pretty impressed. And I'm waiting to get feedback when I see my customer next week who took delivery of this. This one I'm going to use as a demo because I want to get this in people's hands and show it to them. And then I'll start taking orders from there. The cool thing about this is it has a number of power settings like all their other newer generation impacts do. So it has the power settings 1, 2, and 3 plus an assist setting as your fourth setting. And instead of having a button that you push and cycle through it, you leave the directional switch here in neutral. And then every time you depress the trigger twice, you're going to cycle through. See that? Just 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and you cycle through your modes that way. Full power, full time is the third setting there, which is normally what people keep it on. 5-year warranty in the tool. It comes with a high capacity battery, which has a 3-year warranty, and a standard capacity battery that has a 2-year warranty. This little guy has loads of power. You can feel it in your hand as it torques around. And I'm dying to know how the real-world applications of this tool play out for my first customer who bought it. And I'm going to demo this one throughout the week, get people's opinions on it. And this is one of those things where I feel so good about it. I just want to put it in people's hands, get their feedback, see what they think, try it out, and then see what the sales do. I have a feeling that something like this is going to sell very well. The whole kit that comes with 2 batteries, a charger, a bag, and the tool on the truck is going for $429. And you may be thinking, well, that's more than Home Depot. I know it is. These are tool truck prices now, so prices are going to be more because I finance it and I stand behind everything that comes in this kit. So if you need any help at all with after-sales service, I provide that for you. So prices on tool trucks are more expensive than other buying options that you have, but for good reason. And I think $429 for a tool like this on the tool truck, when you compare that to what you get from Matco or Snap-on or even Mac, you're going to find that their branded tools are far more expensive with less impressive specs and warranties that aren't nearly as good. So big fan of this from Milwaukee, even though I don't have much feedback on it yet. I am really stoked on this. If you saw my video from last week when I went over the Coast voice-controlled headlamp, I was giddy about that thing too, because there's so much to enjoy from that product that I can't wait to see how the adoption is going on it. This week is going to be very telling for that. I've already sold some, and guys are very interested in it who I have shown it to. Same thing with this. I am stoked to get this on the truck because I really do think that something like this is going to be a game changer in getting that much power out of a 12-volt system. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. Keep watching the channel because I have got more tools in the haul videos coming down the line. I'm going to be rebuilding a 1-inch Ingersoll air impact, so I'll show you all the ins and outs of that one, what it's like in the guts, how it works. You might be surprised to find it's not as complicated as you might think. So do me a favor and click down here now to subscribe so you don't miss any of it. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, use a tool. Don't be one.